when dealing with exponents. So the first, we're going to see three laws. So the first law is the power of powers. So if I have a power elevated to another power, I can just multiply by exponents together. So let's do a couple of examples to get started. So basically the trick here, when you're going to see an expression like this, you can just multiply your exponents together. So 3 times 2, same base, 6, and you just leave it in the form of a power. So same base, my negative is still there. My base is 2, so it's going to be 2 to the power of 20. And here, same base is 6. You just multiply 2 times 7, 14. So that's the idea. When you have a bracket separating two exponents, you can multiply them together. That's the power of a power. But you can also have a power of a product. So that means if I have a product, right, I can distribute my exponent to each number being multiplied together. So I could do 5 times 7, which is negative 35, negative 7 times 5, and then do negative 35 squared. But that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you to write it as a product of powers. So to do that, you have to distribute the 2 to each number. So it's going to be negative 7 squared multiplied by 5 squared. This is a product of powers. That's your answer. Again here, I could do 3 times 2, 6, 6 squared, but that's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking you to evaluate. I'm asking you to write as a product of powers, so products of multiplication. So my negative is still there, so it's 3 squared multiplied by 2 squared. There I have a product of powers. That's what I'm asking. I'm not asking you to evaluate, and you just leave it as that. Finally here, you can do the same thing when you're dividing a quotient. So a product of a quotient can be written to a power of quotient of powers. So here, instead of dividing, I want you to write as a quotient of powers. So I don't want you to divide then exponent 3. I want you to distribute the exponent. So you're going to write it as this. That's it. This is a quotient of powers. Same thing here. 24 power of 4. That's the base. And all you're doing is you're just distributing exponents to the numbers that are being divided. And you're not evaluating. But if I were to ask you to evaluate, then you would calculate. But here, all I want is a quotient of powers. Here's your practice. Make sure you check your work behind the book.